Peace to everybody. This is about death toll rises to 22 in El Paso. Shooting as two more victims die in hospital. And of course the police. So now the death toll is at 22, and of course there's going to be more death tolls as bodies are being found in that. The death toll from a mass shooting at an El Paso, Texas Walmart increased to 22 after two more victims died in the hospital, police say. So two more victims died at the hospital. 22 people have been found dead. And it's a real shame because of all these mass shootings, allegedly. David Shrimp, Chief Executive Officer of Del Sol Medical Center in El Paso, said one patient died late Sunday night and another Monday morning. So you got one patient that died late Sunday night and another died early Monday morning. So that is, and of course this is what the Chief Executive Officer at Del Sol Medical Center in El Paso. The victims, whose names were not immediately released, were among more than 24 people wounded in the massacre that erupted about 10:39 a.m. local time Saturday inside a Walmart crowded with shoppers, including children and parents, drawn to a back-to-school sale. Yeah, so the victims, their names were not immediately released, so I guess they're still working on that. Were among more than 24 people wounded in the massacre as well, and it was erupted right about 10:39 a.m. local time Saturday. Then including children and parents drawn to a back-to-school sale. The wounded ranged in age from 2 years old to 82, according to authorities. So anywhere from a 2-year-old child to an elderly who is 82 years old. That's how old the range age was. Dr. Stephen Flattery, director of trauma at Del Sol Medical Center, said one of the patients who died was an elderly woman. So yeah, an elderly woman was one of the patients who died at the hospital. She is no longer with anybody, and I'm sending condolences to her family if she has any. And of course, here's a screenshot of what happened. Both parents suffered major and devastating wounds that were consistent with high-velocity gunshots, he added. Yes, so there was both parents suffered major and devastating wounds. Of course, he added that in. We are truly heartbroken to have to be here to report this, said Flattery, his voice cracking with emotion. Yes, so Flattery had said that that they were truly heartbroken. Of course, his voice was cracking with emotion. He said he could only speak of the female victim who died. So yeah, that was all he could do, was speak on that female who passed away. The patient had major intra-abdominal injuries affecting the liver, the kidney, and the intestines. Flaherty said she received massive blood transfusions utilizing all types of blood products. And so the woman had major intra-abdominal injuries that affected her liver, her kidney, and her intestines. And oh my gosh, she even received massive blood transfusion. And I don't know why the blood transfusion wasn't working, or maybe it was working, but she just passed away. Shimp added that 6 other wounded victims remain at Del Sol Medical Center, 1 in critical condition and 5 in stable condition, he said. 2 other patients were discharged, and one was transferred to another local hospital. Okay, so you got two other patients were discharged, so they're out of the way. Now, you got 6 other wounded victims remain at Del Sol Medical Center. One is in critical condition and 5 are in stable condition. And of course, there was one that was transferred to another local hospital. News of the latest death came just hours after the El Paso County Coroner's Office removed the last victim's body from the premises. Yes, so the coroners, they were involved as well, so they were to remove bodies from the scenes and take them to the morgue. And of course, the news on the latest death came just hours after the El Paso County Coroner's Office officer removed the last victim's body on the premises. So it's a terrible, tragic time. The suspect was identified by authorities as Patrick Crucius, 21, of Allen, Texas. He is being held on a charge of capital murder, court records show. Yeah, so this 21-year-old, he's the one who shot people left and right, and of course he killed his own mother. He is being held on a charge of capital murder, and of course the court records shows that. John Bash, the U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Texas, said Sunday that federal authorities are investigating the incident as an act of domestic terrorism, allegedly, because I have to throw that in there, meaning the suspect was allegedly intent on coaxing and intimidating a civilian population. So John Bash is the U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Texas. All right, and he said Sunday that the federal authorities are investigating the incident as an act of domestic terrorism. Well, okay, so they're doing that. Meaning that the suspect was allegedly intent on coaxing and intimidating a civilian population. So how many people that were there, that's what he did. Bash said federal authorities are also considering bringing hate crimes and federal firearms charges against Crucius that carry the penalty of death. So there is a possible chance that these federal authorities can do that. They could be bringing hate crimes and federal firearms. And of course, if he is found guilty, he will have the death penalty for what he has done. Police said Cruz drove more than 600 miles from his home in the Dallas area to El Paso to kill as many Mexicans as he could. Wait a minute. Oh my gosh. So he killed a lot of Mexicans and he drove 600 miles from Dallas to El Paso. Bro, why didn't he just stay where he was at instead of going to El Paso, Mexico, Texas, to kill all these Mexicans for? What is his problem with Mexicans? This 21-year-old has seriously got a problem. Investigators also believe Cruz is the same man who allegedly posted a 4-page racist anti-immigrant document on the dark website 8chan before launching the attack, officials said. So there is a chance he could have posted a 4-page racist on a dark website. So I don't know what the dark website looks like, but it's there, allegedly. And on a 4-page, I don't know about that, but also the investigators do believe that he could have done that. At 8chan before launching the attack, officials had said. We consider this an act of terrorism against the Mexican American community and the Mexicans living in the United States, Mexico's Foreign Secretary Marcelo Ebrard said in a video statement. So yeah, they consider it as an act of terrorism against Mexican American in the community, and the Mexicans living in the United States. So this is why he went after him, because I guess he couldn't stand Mexicans for some reason. If you don't like something, just move to another state or something, but that does not give him the right to go and kill everybody. At least 7 of the 20 people killed were Mexican nationals, and 9 additional Mexicans were among those wounded, Ebrard said. Ebrard called the shooting an act of barbarism, and I agree with him. It is an act of barbarism, allegedly. There was 20 people killed were Mexican nationals, and 9 additional Mexicans were among those wounded. And of course, this is what Ebrard said. And killing people is not right. And I know people are going to blame and say, "Oh, it's a mental illness. It's this, it's that." Wrong. It's the person themselves that are doing this, because something isn't right with them, and you can't blame mental illness for everything, because these people that are doing the alleged shooting, they need to take responsible and not blame mental illness for anything. Leave your comments below. I am out.